Having finished top of the table after 22 matches, Ulster went into this game as favourites against a Scarlets side who suffered a blow before the game had kicked off when the returning Rhys Priestland was injured in a pre-match warm-up to be replaced by Owen Williams. Ulster had already beaten Scarlets twice this season, home and away. The Welsh side hoping to make it third time lucky against Mark Anscombe's team. The Ulster coach stressed pre-match that he wouldn't tolerate complacency in front of another sellout Ravenhill crowd. After defeat at home to Treviso the previous week, the Welsh side started this game with much more purpose and forced an early penalty and a chance for Williams to show that he was a more than able replacement for Priestland. The out-half, who's on his way to Leicester next season, would always be expected to score from in front of the posts, which he duly did, and the visitors led 3-0 with 4 minutes gone. Ulster were quickly down the other end, looking for an immediate response, and it was forthcoming. Referee Alain Roland penalised Scarlets for not releasing, and Ruan Pienaar kicked well to make it 3-3 in the 6th minute. The man from Bloemfontein came into the game having already scored 141 points this season, and he had 3 more to add to that tally. Midway through the first half, with the score still at 3 apiece, the spark started to fly, and a few fists as well. As Ulster piled the pressure on Scarlets, tempers flared. Andrew Trimble seemed to strike number 15, Liam Williams, and Williams reacted furiously. The ref was well placed to see the incident, and despite the fact that punches seemed to be clearly thrown, Roland decided that a yellow card for both parties would suffice. Maybe both players a little lucky not to see red. With both sides down to 14 men, Ulster were the team to take advantage in the 25th minute. The forwards were bashing away at the Welsh side's rear guard, and when Pienaar picked out a pass to Tommy Bowe, the winger showed why he's been selected for the Lions with an excellent execution for the first try of the night. The signs weren't looking good for Scarlets, and when Pienaar converted from wide left, it was 10-3 for the home side. Scarlets' hopes of breaking the run of 5 defeats in their last 6 against Ulster were looking slim when the Ulster men barged over the line from the line-out for the second try of the game. The Welsh side's defence completely unable to cope with the maul, and Robbie Dyack dropped over the line to extend the home side's lead. It was a classic training ground move, and one that gave Ulster a very healthy lead. 34 minutes gone, 15-3 to the good. In first half injury time, Pienaar added another penalty from straight in front of the posts to make it 18-3 and leave the Welsh side needing a big turnaround in fortunes as the half-time whistle blew. Scarlets needed a lightning start to the second half, but instead it was Ulster who resumed on the front foot, and within 3 minutes of the restart they'd extended their lead further. After a superb scything run by Darren Cave, once again it was the beef merchants up front who did the damage. Tom Court back in the starting lineup for this game, getting over the line for try number 3. The referee asked for the TMO's assistance, and after some delay, word came back that the try could be awarded. Pienaar added the extra 2 points, and Ulster were cruising 25-3 ahead. Scarlets then lost Ken Owens and George Earl to injury as the game drifted away from them. However, in the 61st minute, there was something for the Welsh supporters to sing about. An absolutely sublime piece of play from substitute scrum half Gareth Davies. His jinking run a thing of beauty, and none of the Ulster players were able to land a serious hand on him. A brilliant try from the man who's been a fringe figure for Scarlets, but unfortunately for them, even though Owen Williams converted at 25-10, it was probably too little, too late. A couple of minutes later, Pienaar landed another penalty to give Ulster an 18-point cushion, 28-10, at which point Mark Anscombe more or less emptied the Ulster bench. Scarlets took the initiative as the home side took their foot off the pedal, and 2 minutes from time, the Welsh side notched another try when substitute Sione Timani blasted over the line from close range, with the Ulster cover unable to stop the 6'5" Tongan. Owen Williams converted to make it 28-17, and that would be the final score of the game. Celebrations then for the home crowd at full time. The end of an era as demolition begins on the old grandstand next week. But you get the feeling that the future for this Ulster side is decidedly bright. Scarlets are losing some big names, but having made the playoffs for the first time, they've plenty to build on. Ulster look forward to the final at the RDS after a full-time score. Ulster 28, Scarlets 17. This was a repeat of last year's playoff semi-final when Leinster beat Glasgow 19-15 at the RDS. The Scots went into the game top try scorers in this season's Pro12 League with 66 in all, and it was a strong-looking Warriors side selected for the game with the likes of Hogg, Maitland, Matawalu and Kellogg all back in the starting 15. For Leinster, it was a fourth successive home semi-final, and they'd won the previous three. The Irish province had beaten Glasgow in both league encounters this season and knew a win for the third time would set up an all-Irish final against Ulster. The first score of the game came in the 12th minute. Having missed an earlier kickable penalty, this time Johnny Sexton found his range and the home side were 3-0 up. The smiles on Leinster's faces after taking the lead would soon turn to worried frowns, with the sight of Brian O'Driscoll trudging off with back spasms to be replaced by Andrew Conway. A worry for Leinster with the Amlin final the following weekend, and concern no doubt for Lions coach Warren Gatland as well. Despite trailing by 3 points, Glasgow were matching Leinster for possession and territory, and the Scots side got their reward in the 15th minute. Scrum half Nico Matawalu signed a new contract extension with the club this week, and the Fijian's quick thinking saw him dart towards the line and just get the ball down for the first try of the match. The referee went to the TMO for verification and was immediately told that he could award the try. Stuart Hogg kicked the additional 2 points with a straightforward conversion, and Warriors led 7-3 on the quarter hour. Hogg added another penalty to make it 10-3 in the 25th minute, and a few alarm bells may have been ringing in the Leinster camp. However, the home side's nerves were settled somewhat a couple of minutes later when a well-rehearsed move came to fruition. After a line-out, Leinster got their maul rolling, and Jamie Heaslip made the break for the line and looked to have got the first try of the night for Leinster. But for the third time, the referee went to the TMO to confirm that the touchdown was good and was told that he could award the try to the delight of the home crowd. It was the big number 8's third try of the season, and a crucial one, getting Leinster right back into the game. Sexton failed with the conversion attempt, but there was only 2 points between the sides now, Leinster 8, Glasgow 10. Past the half-hour mark, the Irish side went back in front. Matawalu was penalised for deliberate offside. The number 9 was sent to the sin bin for his troubles. And Sexton landed the resultant penalty to make it 11 points to 10. The strong wind not making life easy for the kickers, but this one went between the posts and would be the last score of the half. Joe Schmidt's side leading 11-10 at the break. Both teams tried to move the ball quickly in the third quarter of the match, but with no reward on the scoreboard. However, Leinster were presented with an opportunity in the 63rd minute when Glasgow were penalised for crossing. And Sexton, with the wind at his back, comfortably slotted it over to extend Leinster's lead to 14 points to 10. Then Leinster notched another 3 points. The referee wasn't happy with the Warriors' scrum, and it gave Sexton the chance to tag another 3 points on from just inside the Leinster half. The strength of the wind at his back was emphasised when his kick cleared the crossbar with metres to spare. 17-10 with 10 minutes left to play. Glasgow's open rugby deserved a try, and it eventually arrived after a sustained period of pressure 5 minutes from time. Substitute Mark Bennett, who hasn't featured too often for the Scots this season, was the man of the moment. His darting run from close range getting him over for the try. No more than Glasgow deserved, and it gave Stuart Hogg the chance to level scores with the conversion. It was by no means a gimme for the Scottish international, who'll be travelling with the Lions party. And with the wind making life even more difficult, his kick was off target, and Leinster remained in the lead 17-15. Time wasn't on Glasgow's side after that, and Leinster were able to see out the game to the full-time whistle with disciplined defence, and it meant a fourth successive win in the semi-finals for the men in blue. They've ensured an All-Irish final as they prepare to take on Ulster in the showpiece at the RDS in a repeat of last year's Heineken Cup final lineup. But Glasgow will surely feel that this was an opportunity missed. Final score in Dublin, Leinster 17, Glasgow 15.